my hope for you today in this conference is that this is a checkpoint for you, for how you're living your life, to take a look at what's working, what's not working, and then be able to take steps in the direction of living your life to the fullest and living your life in alignment with what really matters to you. I started working in an integrative psychiatry practice, and I realized that a lot of the things that the world tells us should make us happy, I was seeing people who checked all those boxes, but they weren't happy. So I started to ask myself some questions, like, what does happiness really mean? What really do we need to live happy and successful lives? It all starts with you. I have a question for you. Is your inner voice a best friend, or is it more of a bully? Now, for most of us, it can be a little bit of both depending on the day, depending on the situation. So if things are going really well in your life, if you've gotten some positive feedback, if maybe you just achieved one of your goals, you can feel really awesome, and probably that inner voice is your biggest cheerleader. However, if things are not going the way that you had planned, if you have setbacks and challenges, if you've received a negative view from a patient, or if you've gotten negative feedback in general, well, sometimes then we can become our own biggest critic. So we're going to be talking about how can you embrace an inner voice and a mindset that is actually propelling you forward to be able to achieve the things that you really want to in your life. I also thought that it was my job to fix others. And this is something that a lot of people in healthcare can fall into the trap of, feeling like we are taking on all of this pressure, all of this responsibility. When it comes down to it, we can try and inspire others, we can try and help others, we can try and set an example, but at the end of the day, it's each person's individual responsibility to claim their own well-being and happiness. We can get caught in these feedback loops, in these habits, in these patterns that do not serve us, that really, really hold us back. Now, there is something really important to recognize here. A lot of your thoughts are not true. A lot of your thoughts are lies. A lot of your thoughts are simply opinions. So a lot of these beliefs that you have, a lot of these thought patterns that you have, especially where they're holding you back, that is where there is room for tremendous growth. Have you ever read those books, Choose Your Own Adventure? Because that's something I used to read when I was a kid. My kids love them now. So in this moment, you can choose your own adventure. What direction are you going to go down? Are you going to go down the path of, what's wrong with me? They must not like me. What did I do? Then what those thoughts will do is they're going to create feelings of inadequacy, of insecurity, of doubt, and then that can influence your behaviors. Probably. Give yourself permission to be happy. Have you ever found yourself saying or thinking, I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when this is over. At the end of the day, there's always going to be a new setback. There's going to be a new stressor, a new challenge, a new goal, and you need to be able to give yourself permission to be happy now. We waste so many moments in our lives that could be incredibly powerful, high-quality moments because we're not fully present. So mindfulness is really, it's training our brain. It's training our brain to be present, to come back to the present moment. Surprisingly, a lot of what causes stress is not necessarily the event itself. It's not necessarily the situation. It's how we respond to the situation. It's how we're interpreting it. It's how we're reacting to it. So you can have your perfect day planned out and then the internet's down, or you get a flat tire. That's life, it happens. But if you resist that, it's going to add more fuel to the fire. So ideally what we do, we allow, we accept, and then we adapt. Does anyone feel guilty taking time for themselves? That's something I felt when my kids were little. That was hard. I felt bad taking time for myself. Self-care does not need to be huge, long chunks of time. They can be little micro moments throughout the day. And another thing to recognize, a lot of what we just talked about, our mindset, our inner dialogue, that can be self-care. The way you talk to yourself, that can be a form of self-care, a very powerful form throughout your day. You need to be able to have boundaries to protect your time and to be able to protect your relationships. Now, emotional intelligence and empathy, that's another really key thing when we're looking to communicate, trying to see things from others' point of view, and also learning how to handle strong emotions. Sometimes if we have a strong emotion, it makes us feel like we have to do something right away. But it's really a skill to be able to sit with strong emotions and recognize that they will pass. So you can respond to the event when you're in a more calm headspace. Start to embrace a more empowering story, more empowering beliefs, and then take action. Take action to create the work life that you truly want and that you truly deserve. And it really does all begin with you.